Welcome to Prepper Nation. I am John. Thank you very much for being here. I come to you from the astute billion-dollar bunker. For those that don't know, it's an inside joke. It's a converted basement, but people think I'm a billionaire over here. So we just call it the billionaire bunker here, son. Um, let's get right into it. So, Media Research Center report. I will try and link this down in the video description below if I remember, but my mind ain't what it used to be. But again, you could also Google it. The Media Research Center report on Google has determined that it's an independent website, it's an independent group, and they've actually done a study and they've confirmed that Google has interfered 41 times in elections over the past 16 years. Most of these being, of course, presidential elections and things. Now, this is very important for several reasons, but I want to go back a few days. Maybe it was last week. I don't remember. Again, I don't remember, right? I think it was last week. We were talking about TikTok and how TikTok all of a sudden is an imminent threat. We can't have TikTok interfering in our elections. This would be bad. This would be, really, really bad. We have to have free and fair elections. And here you have an independent study organization that has verified Google themselves, again, interfered 41 times for different candidates over the past 16 years. And they also determined that the interference was substantially left-wing leaning. I know. Oh, the shock. Oh, the shock. We deal with it. As a matter of fact, many of you yesterday said you left a comment. I didn't get a notification. YouTube never told me that a video was popping up. What is going on? This is just something that I think we have learned to deal with. I don't complain anymore about the censorship or anything. Sometimes it's censorship. Sometimes you're just treated differently if you have conservative viewpoints. And it's just a risk that we take if we're going to be a conservative on this platform. We know this. This is why I ask for, a quick thumbs up. And if you're brand new, to subscribe to the channel, because not only does it help the channel grow, but it helps the next person find the video. But I do digress. The point is, that's not new. Substantially left-leaning, it's not new on various social media platforms. Again, you've dealt with it. If not here, you've probably dealt with it on Facebook. You've probably dealt with it. Used to be really bad over on Twitter before Elon Musk took over, but of course there are others as well. They also cited Google Gemini for having an obvious bias. So Google has pulled their Gemini program down. It's an AI program. It was supposed to be the #1 program. They pulled it down because people quickly realized many different things. This program, this AI program, was essentially rewriting history. Show me a picture of America's founding fathers. Most of them were minorities in the photos and things like this. I mean, it just rewriting everything, and there was an obvious left-leaning agenda behind this program. Again, this was cited. We went over that, though. They gave a specific example in which Google disabled Tulsi Gabbard's ad accounts. So when she was becoming very popular, they went in, they toggled a switch, or again, I don't know if this is automated as how it works, or if there's somebody actually in Silicon Valley sipping a, coffee, or this morning for me, it's sweet tea, right? And they toggle a switch or something. I don't really know how it works, but when she was becoming very popular, a switch got toggled and she lost her ability to make ad revenue. Had that happen, many of us have had that happen, right? Here on Google. And the way that works is Google continues to push ads. Google continues to sell this advertising space to advertisers, but they just said, because she was a conservative, Tulsi, and And because she was getting very popular, she's not getting a penny of it at this point. They have determined at that point, well, her views are different than our views, therefore we're going to pocket all of the money. They were accused of, and I do believe this happens quite a bit. I'm going to show you how to put it to the test here in a moment. Burying search results. So I'll give you a prime example. If you go to Google and you type in Alex Jones InfoWars, in a fair world, the first search result is going to be the InfoWars website. That's going to be the first listing, but that's not what happens. 99 times out of 100, if you use Google as a search engine, and most people do, when you type that in, there are going to be pages and pages and pages and pages of links and articles that tell a side narrative before you can actually find his website. And so because they know most people are going to be baited into one of these articles, they're going to click on that. And this gives Google and its associates, mainstream media, if you will, a chance to influence the way you think about Mr. Jones and totally gets you sidetracked. And you can do this with other people as well. But it only seems to happen to conservatives. It's very, very weird. You know what I mean? If I type in MSNBC on Google's search engine, the first link that pops up is the official website of MSNBC. But again, you do this with Tucker Carlson, his website is not going to pop up first. And so they called this out blatantly. They said this is going on. Google responded to this accusation in this study by saying this is the same old recycled, baseless, inaccurate complaints that we've seen time and time again. Again, that's coming from Google. So recycled meaning, we've heard this same conspiracy theory time and again. Baseless, they don't actually say how it's baseless. They just call it baseless because in 2024, if you call something a name like baseless, it has to be baseless, right? There's no proof required. Inaccurate complaints. Okay. So again, the Media Research Center report brought receipts. They're giving specifics. I don't know how these are inaccurate receipts. But by saying that, I know as a conservative, by saying that, there's a chance you're not going to be able to find this video. That this video, again, I'm not complaining. I'm saying I'm assuming that risk this morning by telling you what's happening. And the reason I bring this up, to make a little pivot here, is we might want to figure this out. We might want to figure this out moving forward because of AI. AI is pretty much mainstream right now. Less than a year ago, people were talking about AI. AI is going to change the world. AI is going to be incorporated in this way and this way. There are going to be jobs lost. Here we are a year later. Jobs are being slashed all over the place. And it's not just your factory jobs, a lot of creative jobs. Ask a book editor. This is something that hits home a little bit. Ask a book editor how hard it is right now to find work. You don't need to. Why? Because you can go to Grammarly. I'm not sponsored by them, by the way, but they use AI and it goes through and it edits your book just like this, right? Graphic designers, AI is creating all of this stuff. A lot of folks in Silicon Valley, this is why we are seeing Silicon Valley slash jobs, because these people are no longer necessary. But AI goes much further than just jobs. And I don't know how many people understand that. All right. AI is already pretty much mainstream. But a year from now, it's going to be 10 times deeper than it is today. Paper ballots, something we talk about a lot here in the prepping community, those are going to be a thing of the past. I know, folks. I don't want that to be true. That statement that I just made, paper ballots are on their way out. They're going to become a thing of the past. I don't want it to be true, but I know deep down that that's the truth. And I think many of you out there, oh no, we need paper ballots. I think you also know it's true. All right. When you get right down to it, everything has moved to the digital frontier, right? And I mean, for crying out loud, if you go into a McDonald's now or, another restaurant of your choice, you have to take your own order on the digital kiosk. The world has changed significantly since the invention of the internet. And what I'm telling you is AI is going to be 100 times more. You know what I mean? It's like the invention and the changes that were brought about with the internet times 100. It's like it's on steroids. And paper ballots, they're not going to be around much longer. This stuff is going to be done digitally. It's going to be done online. And sorry to say, AI is going to be factored in there quite a bit. And I understand it's very dangerous to be doing this. And getting back to the point of the video, it's very dangerous because Google is the company that is going to be running away with the AI. They just are. I know there's several different programs out there, but let's face it, Google dominates in this landscape, like it or not. They are going to have the number one AI. It's only a matter of time before they relaunch Google Gemini, and we already see what Google is about. We already know that they're heavily left-leaning, that they censor. I would argue that they censor anyway and that they bury search results and things like this, and that they, again, have interfered 41 times in elections in the last 16 years. Nobody in government's going after them, though. They're going after TikTok because TikTok is the real threat, right? What is TikTok? TikTok is an alternate, an alternative to YouTube, to Google. You know what I'm saying? And this is the real threat, I think. 10 years from now or less, I would say less, but let me know what you think. 10 years from now or less, AI will control every aspect of your life. I know that's a controversial statement, but I'm gonna try and make it make sense here. I think that it's going to control. You're gonna have AI in your car in the next 2 or 3 years. They're already putting it on all of the new phones. AI is being built into TVs as we speak, and into the Rokus, into computers. We've got co-pilots. Everything that you do is going to have AI. Your stove, your refrigerator is going to have AI. Your dog's collar eventually is going to have AI. I'm telling you. TV, books, churches. Let me hit on that crowd for a second, okay? When they're up here and they're in the pulpit and they're doing their thing, they're going to be relying on AI moving forward. And this AI, again, is controlled by Google. A lot of at least your bigger mega churches are going to be incorporating AI to helping them get their message ready for the Sunday morning congregations. And again, Google essentially is going to be helping them craft their message to the church. Shopping, we're already seeing it. Work, we're already seeing it. Banking, we're already starting to see the implementation of AI. It will control your life, meaning AI, and Google will control AI. In other words, Google moving forward is going to be in control of your life. Like it or not. That's just the way it is. I think there's a group of people out there, and I remember the same, maybe not the same group of people, but the same mindset back when the internet was first coming out. It's just a fad. I can remember, I was younger then, but I can remember older folks especially saying, oh, this internet's just a fad. This .com stuff is getting on my nerves. I can't wait for it to go away. AI is also not just a fad. I think some people believe AI is here for a few years. It's a shiny new thing and it's going away. Folks, not going away. It's not just a fad. What we're seeing is the changing of the guard. A lot of things that we do right now here in the United States and abroad, like paper ballots, for example, they're going away. They're being replaced. And they're being replaced on the backbone of AI, which again is going to be controlled by Google, which is heavily left-leaning. And I mean, it's obvious what they're doing to conservatives and the conservative message as a whole. I'm going to make a statement this morning, and I'm going to ask y'all what you think about this statement, because I know how much the internet has changed the world since it was, since it became mainstream, right? What is the 56K modems and all the dial up and all this stuff to now. I believe artificial intelligence is going to have more of an impact on our world moving forward than the internet has had on our world thus far. And it has impacted almost everything. But I think, again, AI is going to be that steroid shot in the arm of the internet. And these two things together, it ain't looking good for me. And I do believe, AI is going to be used for nefarious purposes. It's going to have, of course, there are going to be some positive things coming out of AI. But long story short, it's going to be used to suppress voices. You know, yeah, you have the First Amendment, you have freedom of speech, but when everybody is speaking online 5 years from now, and that entire space is controlled by one AI program owned by Google and it's heavily left leaning, are you really free to speak at that point? You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think in the comments. Y'all take care. God bless.